see if we've connected here. Alright, I've got the mic on. Let's see if it says starting. Our live stream is starting. It is May 26th, 2017. And Elijah can't see you in the video.
Yep, it's see buffering.
Are we good? Are we in?
Yeah, on.
Alright, we have gone live.
Yep.
That's not how you spell folks. F-O-U.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Fix that.
Hey, it's Chase. Good evening.
Good evening,
Hello.
folks. Okay, we're here. All right, well, welcome to another session with Engineer775 and little Engineer775, my son Elijah. And let's see if he falls asleep on us again. Elijah and I have been doing a lot of stuff together. We've been
It's John Miller.
programming radios and
Jason.
Jason Andrade.
Yeah, Jason.
Okay, let me see if I can pull up the chat. Hey, there you go. Hey, Roy. Cool. All right, guys are coming in. It's working. All right. I want a special shout out, special thanks to
Litter Prepper Dude.
a little shout out, a little thanks here to Troy Dotson, who was on last time. He's one of my subscribers, and he's familiar with Open Broadcaster, and he took a lot of time and helped me set this thing up a little bit better. So hopefully that's better tonight. If not, well, that's not Troy's fault, that's mine. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to Troy Dotson. We're working on a little project for him, hopefully, and that is having to do with the subject tonight, hydronics, and his air conditioning system has gone out at his church, and he's looking for help and solutions up in Illinois, I believe. Hey, Chris Gray. Hey, folks. Appreciate you guys signing on here. So
41
I'm here with Elijah. Let's go back to full. Let's do the webcam. Can you see Elijah? Just a little shout out to Elijah. I've been teaching him a little bit of what I've learned about YouTube, and he has started his own channel. It's in my featured. He would greatly.
Elijah School.
It's Elijah School 775. He's a cool kid. That's why I call him Elijah School. Elijah
We should
Cool.
blame it on Elijah.
Hey, I can't. You know, I can only focus on one thing, kid. So. Wow, what are you doing? Blame Elijah for what?
If this messes up.
Okay, we could blame Elijah.
Hey!
All right, that's a good idea.
We're blaming you. Chase says yes.
All right, you have to calm down and don't fall asleep. This is you got to learn how to pace yourself, kid. All right. Anyway, if you want to check out his channel, he's getting started with his paleontology studies, his perpetology, guitar playing. He's going to do that, and teaching him how to do these things on YouTube. So anyway, so thanks again to Troy Dotson. Thank you for Elijah. And today I was in just an awesome place. This is where I found myself today on the adventures of Engineer775. I was asked to go install a well pump for a nice lady up in North Carolina. So great trip. And I also wanted to share something she shared with me. I really wanted to see one of these in operation, and I was able to see a freeze dryer from Harvest Right. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I don't sell these. And this was awesome, and I just wanted to show you. Maybe I can go back to let's go back to the full webcam. They have a ton of chickens, and they were freeze drying eggs. So this is 4 dozen scrambled eggs they gave me from the Harvest Right freeze dryer. So I thought that was really cool. So anyway, that's a neat thing. If you're into food preparation, food saving, food storage, that's another way to save your food, especially when your eggs are coming in and then things are really coming in quickly, and you don't want to can them. Freeze drying is another great option for you. So how are we doing on the chats, kid? You got to come over here a little closer because I can't see them. So all right, so I wanted to say those are my shout outs, my thank yous, and I do want to talk about hydronics. We have started. Well, I'm in serious trouble. So where is my PowerPoint? There we go. All right. I'll put this slide up here just to show you what I'm into. If you saw my latest video yesterday, I have removed all my variable refrigerant flow systems from my house. We're going water on everything. So, and the reason being is it's been my lifelong goal in the last probably 10 to 12 years to see if I can do everything with water, solar.
Lost you.
and a heat source.
Chase
So,
says
all right,
yes.
I don't. Yeah, that's okay. So, end of the slideshow. Wow. So I don't know what just happened to this screen. Oh, it escaped out of there. Wow. Bad driver. Sorry, folks. Let me go full screen on that. That's a little bit better. So here's just a slide I'm showing of what we did. A crane, we were lifting the chillers. We had to go up and over this huge house and set them into a small area. So we got a local crane erector service, and they set these 5-ton chillers into place. So that was cool. That was fun. So the awesome thing about hydronics, and hopefully this will inspire some of you. I mean, I've been using wood boilers and heating my water and heating my home, heating my shop, doing a lot of different things, cooking and stuff with a hydronic wood boiler for 12 years. But I've always wanted to know if I could basically cool my house. That's really I live in the South. Air conditioning is a huge thing, and to be able to do that with any type of heat source. The beautiful thing about hydronics, you can use generators to pull heat off, geothermal sources, wells, springs, all sorts of heat exchangers. And what is the delta T on the heat exchangers? I'll hold on a second, get questions. I'm just going to try to get a few things out here and we can talk about it. And then throwing solar in the mix now to be able to run these chillers that have variable speed compressors in them with no locking rotor amps, we can start these things up with solar inverters and produce an amazing amount of heat, move a lot of heat around, and store in heat tanks. And come on, you're part of this, right? You can't be falling asleep on me already. And then ice banks. We're actually producing ice. So, and we're working on that. It's a little dangerous for the heat exchangers, because if we freeze the heat exchanger, it busts, and that's bad. So we have glycol in our loops. So, all right. So you guys have already jumped in here. I guess you were interested in talking about hydronics. So there's tons of questions zooming by here. So let's talk and maybe answer some of your questions. So I wanted to show you one thing though. Let me get out of here and show you. Let's escape out of here. All right, we ran? This is a piece of information I thought was very interesting. Where'd it go? Oh my, did it go away? Oh yeah, variable refrigerant flow systems. In Air Force facilities, will not be using them anymore. Army facilities, not using them anymore. For Navy, request for approval for the use of VRF systems. Refrigerant is going away. It might be painful going away, but a lot of, maybe from the top down, they're going to drive it out of their systems, and that opens the door for a whole new world of hydronics. Hydronics has been around for a long time, and a lot of it with boilers and heating, but now with cooling, I think it's really exciting. Great career opportunities in the world of hydronics, and I just love it because if I can do everything with water and solar, I'm a happy camper. So let's throw a chat up here and we'll see what we got going on. So, all right, I'm going to answer some questions. I'm still getting the hang of this. There's so many questions going by. How you doing? We got about 70 people on.
Yep.
And we got some. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, speak of low LRA. Thoughts of sure start, soft start on AC equipment. Yeah, there's a gentleman just asked about sure start, soft start. There's a piece of equipment. I think Water Furnace recently bought it, and it allows you to start larger motors, compressors, engines, motors basically, using this device that basically finds out where to punch it. It's kind of like pedaling a bicycle, and you know exactly where to place the position of that pedal, then start pedaling. And that's a mechanical engineer describing what's going on in the electrical world. It's so that you can actually punch that motor or compressor exactly where you need to, and that allows you to start up easier, and so there's a lot less amperage required. We did it on a geyser. We took a heat pump water heater and added the Sure Start to it, and it cut the amperage, startup amperage, in half. So when you see equipment with LRAs in the 80s and 120 amps on these VRF systems that people have, these heat pumps, we cannot start them on solar inverters, or you shouldn't. If you have to stack 5 radians to run your house, then you're in serious trouble. That's a very expensive system. So we're looking at completely, I think we can revolutionize heating and cooling by using just this smart technology, these hydronic chillers. This one from Multi Aqua is phenomenal, their heat recovery chiller. The Chilltrix also offers one that I've shared with you before. And not a start assist kit. Okay, what do we got here? It's hard to read these the chats coming in. All right, hello from South Africa. Hello, folks. Very good. All right, lag on the screen. I don't know what he's saying there. All right. So the problem with small chiller systems is circulators take power to run. Yes, Roy, they do, but so does a compressor. Now the compressor has to move the refrigerant around, so a lot of people don't think about that. The compressor is not just compressing refrigerant, it is also the pump that is moving the refrigerant between the outdoor units and the indoor units. And so you can't subtract out that power that's used to actually pump the refrigerant back and forth. So yes, circulators do take power. We're looking at that. We really want to introduce some DC pumps into the circulator world. But there are some amazing, we're using Takeo Viridians, which are ECM controlled circulators. They are constant pressure, constant volume. You can set them up in 4 different ways. They're phenomenal. So you've got a lot of simple controls. A lot of this has been used, whether it's in solar hot water, whether it's in outdoor wood boilers, chillers. You have a lot of the same controls. 2-way valves, three-way valves, differential thermostats, differential controls, and circulating pumps. It's pretty simple. Hello, in your video about keeping a freezer from frozen, where did you get them at? All right, Jason, if you send me an email, I can send you the contact information. There are a lot of people, go get an ice ball out of the freezer. A lot of people ask about the icy balls. There's basically 3 places I know that offer thermal storage solutions, and one is Calmac tanks. I had this Calmac tank over here. See these Calmac tanks? That's a thermal storage device that we're using right now. And there is Ice Bear is another company. Elijah just pulled out an ice ball. These are, I don't know if you can, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. These are faceted like a little soccer ball that have facets on them. So when it expands, so when when water freezes, you can basically it'll expand. I think they can go. They're good for like 1 million cycles. So I'll send you an email. If you send me an email, I'll send it. The guy only sells these in quantities of like 1,000. So that's the problem with these ice balls. I love them. I use them for a lot of different things. A friend of mine gave me about 100 of these. Keep refreshing the browser so you won't lag. So I don't know if they talking to me, or are you talking to me, weapons machinist? Hello everybody that's just come on there, appreciate it. And what is the refrigerant used in the system? We're using a 410 FA, water, no Freon. That's exactly right, John. We're using water to move heat and air, move heat around a building, and we're using cold water and hot water storage as part of the system. And the cool thing is that you can pull the heat out of your house and dump that into the hot water. So it's great to take the system that's working and drop that heat into your domestic hot water. So that's an amazing thing. So the ice balls, I'll send an email. Who's this for? Who's this? If this is a great thing. I'm glad somebody mentioned these, because when Elijah falls asleep on my YouTube live, I just touch it to his leg and you see what happens. All right, he screams like a girl. So anyway, I didn't notice many girls on here. Anyway, I got away with that. I'm about to install several Chilltrix chiller systems in a new house. We'll let you know. Oh, that's awesome, John. Oh, there's John Holman. Hey, John. That's great. Curious where you got those, but Have condenser coil in the water heater. Okay. Have condenser coil in the water heater. All right. Yeah, John, I know you've been talking with Johnny, and so one day I got to get out there and see you. So yes, I should sell them. Well, I need to find out if I can get them through Victor. But these are great thermal storage devices. These are great in an ambient tank. So let me describe what I mean by that. So imagine you're cooling, using a compressor, using renewable energy to cool water to heat your home, and you're pumping that water through circulating pumps, and then these are in a tank. Say it's like an ambient tank, like a freezer, and then glycol is being pumped around the balls. So at night, when you want to cool the house without running your compressor because of the solar, then you can still circulate the glycol around the balls and extract the heat out of them, and then freeze them again the next day. So that's kind of the goal. Okay. What's the deal?
Everyone's saying this. Chase said my ears.
Yeah. No. Your ears? Is it too loud? I changed my microphone settings. I probably have the gain cranked up. So, first time on your live stream. Hello, Argo. Argo Tungsten. How you doing? Is that the Vulcan sign there? I can't really see it. So, yeah. Live long and prosper, Argo. Still using Freon to cool my... Why not ammonia instead? Would have a larger... Yes, ammonia, yes. Ammonia's just dangerous. We can do it. The refrigerants that are coming out are getting better. We're not using Freon. Freon's like old school. We're using the organics. DuPont has a new one. They just have a number for it now. So they're getting better and better. And the refrigerant loop is very small, contained inside the chiller. It's outside. If there are any failures, none of that refrigerant's going to escape into the house. And yes, low refrigerant charge. That's right. Roy, you seem to know a lot about hydronics. Appreciate you being here. And folks, if you're looking to learn this stuff, I highly recommend the YouTube channel Caleffi. There's a program called Coffee with Caleffi, Caleffi. If you want to get up to speed, they do everything, how not to plumb a system. There's a lot of resources. I'll share a few with you. I mean, I don't know if you can see, I've been working on some hydronic sketches here and how I want to plumb my house. And might look overwhelming at first, but it's really not. Takeo has some interesting software that helps you design, because you need to figure out your friction loss and everything when you do these systems, and your pipe lengths and pipe sizing is very important. So a little bit of time spent up front will really help you out. So just been here's another design I've been working on for my house. I got to stop designing and start plumbing because it's getting hot here and I have no air conditioning in the house. So my wife's about to kill me, and she's like, "Great, all this fun stuff, all this hydronics. Where's my air conditioning?" So I'm going to be motivated here real fast.
Yeah.
Done lots of chiller, hydronics, heating, refrigeration work. Lots of raw experience. That's cool, Roy. Where are you, Roy? Can you come help me? Do I prefer Takeo to Grundfos? I use both. There's Grundfos circulators. I got Takeo circulators on my on the central boiler. I really like the Takeo Viridians. I don't know if Grundfos has a comparable pump, the ECM controlled pump. So I'm using a lot of the Dankoff pumps. So they're DC pumps and things. So as long as the pump works, I'm not really, I love Grundfos for the well pump work I do. And I haven't really used their circ pumps. I know I see them everywhere. They're used a lot, and that's all I can say about that. How much flow is needed for proper heat transfer? That is a good question, and Jeff, we're actually been playing around with somebody. We were joking today about drying clothes using hydronics, and how much flow. It's a combination of flow and heat exchange, and CFMs, of fan CFMs, and what we're finding, and this is kind of the industry experts are saying, if we can have our hydronic systems about 120 degrees for heat and not so hot. Old hydronic systems, boilers and stuff, were designed for 180 degrees, around 180, 185. and to be able to do the same heating at a much lower temperature is great. It saves equipment. You can use different types of pipe and PEX and even PVC in some cases. And so where was I going with that before I was completely distracted? So so yes, how much flow is needed? I guess it was Jeff's question. How much flow is needed for proper heat transfer? And that's it's mass flow delta to, it depends on what depends on the load. That's the beauty of some of these pumps. They're ECM. They're controllable, where you can do a fixed flow rate or pressure, fixed pressure, and get what you need. So. And that's where some of the software comes in real handy to design the right size heat exchangers, the right size pumps, the right size plumbing to get the heat that you need moved where you need it. So to me, it seems like Takeo pumps are more resilient. Okay, I don't know. I've had some Takeo pumps run for 10 years, running 24/7. To the impellers just completely turned from a round circle into a triangle, but it was still spitting water. So yeah, and they're pretty bulletproof, pretty tough. Okay, I was a Federal Universal License Tech on Refrigerant System 95. There's a lot of guys on here, obviously, that I would love to work with. That you have some real world experience. I'm just jumping into this. I pulled. I don't know if you can find my fluids, my thermodynamics book on the shelf over there. Can you go get it? Yeah. Can you go get it? I don't know if you can or not. But it's wild. I took thermodynamics 1 and 2 at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I took all sorts of theoretical classes on this, and it's amazing. I broke these books back out, and I'm reading and going through them. Where's my thermal storage book? So all these textbooks, it's over there. Please get it. Thermodynamics. So it's been wild. I never thought I'd pull these books back off the shelf and start reading them again. But all the organic Rankine cycles and the steam cycles, and it's amazing. You find it yet? No. It's amazing. Do you ever find out when anybody's under 30? I've taken a poll. Anybody under 30 years old cannot find anything. You ever work with somebody and you say, could you go find that? Could you go get my well clamp? Can you go get my channel locks? And so I'm just finding that to be a trend. I hire a lot of kids that are going into college, coming out of college, and when I ask them to go find something, forget about it. They can't find anything. I think it's about 30 years old that you start having the ability to actually find things. That's just a side rant, but come on, Eli. And when you're 10, forget it. That's all right. Well, we should have had it out. Come on back. So, with the pumps that you were discussing, is there a high current draw on the start, or is there something that can be used to reduce that load? Derek, there's not really a high current load, and a lot of these circ pumps are running, some of them are running constantly, so they're not starting up and starting down. Some of the small circ pumps, they're using, 0.7 amps at 120 volts, using 0.3 amps at 240. So, they're the small circulating pumps aren't bad at all. LOL, 30-year-olds. That's me, Scott. Sorry, James. I said less than 30. I can't even find things I own. This is true. But when you're working, it's just amazing. It's just a poll I'm taking, a statistical poll on people that can't find things. Most kids don't have a clue. The 30-year-old group can't tell them nothing. Uh-oh, I think I started something here I probably shouldn't have. So, anyway, what other questions with the, okay, 30-year-old. Let's get back to the serious stuff. One of the other, and I want to throw this out there, subjects that I mean, there's so many subjects that interest me, and there's so many things that we're doing on the channel that, I mean, I'm kind of flexible on this. What would you like to talk about? And, we have a consulting service that we offer. I was thinking of taking you through that. I was thinking of going through and sizing a well system. You really got to pull it together there, kid. Where are you going on me? Elijah School's falling apart on me. Let's go back to Maybe this will, one of the things that I do on Google Earth from time to time is I got a picture here up here of I just picked a mountain in Idaho, and what I show people, a lot of people don't know their property there that they could do this, is design a water system based on elevation changes. So I usually do a complete water system design using Google Earth, walk the property with you, so that's part of my consultation. I'm giving away all my tricks, and that's what I do, tell people how to do things on YouTube, hopefully inspire you. So this week I did several consultations, one in Idaho, that's why I'm in Idaho, on Google Earth, and so I do just a lot of that. And if that's of any help to you, let me go back to the YouTube chat thing here, then I can do that as a subject. And have you been thinking about using groundwater to cool without a heat pump? Yeah, it's the ground. I've actually been thinking about the geothermal on the Chiltrix. I'm not the Chiltrix. Sorry, the multi-aqua chiller. You can actually exchange, do your heat exchange with whatever is more efficient. Whether it's the air. If the air is hot, if it's 95 degrees out and you got your groundwater at 50, of course, exchange with the ground. So I've been really thinking about exchanging with groundwater. I do have a couple wells. I have springs, large containers of water, plus the ground, and to use that. That's the beauty of hydronics. I'm glad you brought up the geothermal, because I really want to do that. So in the winter, I can extract all this heat out. Looking at possibly using my swimming pool and dumping heat to that during the day, and then taking the heat out of it at night. And that's another possibility. More about sizing zones. Well, there's a lot of details on that, Steve, as you probably can imagine. As your pipe size steps down and you're loading and your fan coils, you know, what are you going to use as your emitters? Are you using a coil and an air handler? Are you using your fan coils? So you kind of got to add everything up and to figure out the tonnage that you need. And I'm not an expert in sizing. I'm in the process of figuring that out right now on my house. I have not done that before, and so there's people on here. Probably Roy has some expertise on sizing zones for hydronics. Jason, my son is 19. He keeps track of my stuff. Oh, that's good. Is there a well pump that would work on both AC and DC? Well, you just set me up there, Jeff and Emily. Yes, there is the pump. Jason, who's just there, he knows what pump that is, and so does James Swallow right after there. Yes, that is the Grundfos SQ Flex. It will run on. Oh, can I type in there? Can you type in there? I'm not on my super chat window. I should be. Why am I not in there? Because I didn't want to burn up my bandwidth. I'll just say it. The Grundfos runs on 30 to 300 volts DC. It runs on 90 to 265 volts AC. So it's an amazing pump, and it's a solution for many people that want backup power, backup solutions if the grid goes down. They make a great little transfer switch called an IO101. It comes in 115 and 240 volts, so you can run it off of different types of generators, or you can run it off of solar. How do you contact me? Go ahead and type my email in and make sure it's correct there. info@practicalpreppers.com. OBX wind and solar and wind. Oh my goodness, yes, it has been a long time. How are you, sir? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. So, yes, so info@practicalpreppers.com. You can get me there. Is there a solar well pump you suggest? Yes. We are pumping probably 100 feet from an old well casing. Yeah, it is. Holy cow, it's OBX. Yeah, I mean, who's saying that? Riverview Farms boss. So Riverview Farms, if we were talking and doing a consultation and I took you to Google Maps and I'd say, okay, here's your well or spring down here, and we got to pump 250 feet up to this tank. We're going to do it with solar, and I'm going to show you how to basically size something. I'll say, okay, we're 250 feet in elevation. You divide that by 2.31. It's going to tell me the PSI I need. I'll take you to the Grundfos pump curve. That pump that'll tell me, yes sir. What's going on?
Is it
no, not even. Erase all that. So Where was I? Sizing that pump. Let's go back to the chat. I don't know if I lost the guy there or not. And yeah, OBX, where'd you go? You made awesome videos and did a great job. He knew a lot of stuff. So he does know a lot of stuff. So on the thanks for the general the solar well pump. The Grundfos can pretty much do everything we need to do Riverview Farms. If you have a specific project, just send me an email and we'll design you a system. There's 11 pumps that I use in that line, and we figure out which one works the best for what you're doing. How many BTUs tons do you need? I am trying to get away with 5 tons. I ripped out 8 tons of traditional VFR VRF systems, and I'm going to try to do what I did with 8 with 5, and so we'll see how that goes. And I'm trying to do a little bit more zoning, so I think I can do that. Jeff and Emily, do you sell what? Jeff and I can't remember their question. Pumps? Get me up to the see what Jeff and Emily. I can't. You got to go up to their question. Jeff and Emily, or if you're saying, do I sell them, and that being the pumps? Yes, I do. And I can get you a good deal, probably one of the best deals on the Grundfos pumps. So any solar pumps and all the accessories and the solar, kind of design for you and ship it to you.
Is there a well pump that would work on?
Oh yeah, good job, Eli. My helper he's kicking in gear again. All right. Yes, we sell. The Chiltrix comes from John Williams at Hotspot. Yeah. Okay. It also comes from Practical Preppers. So, John. So I would have loved to have got you those, but that's another story. Thanks. We'll be in touch. Who inspired you? Oh, is he asking me that question? Who inspired me to do YouTube? My brother, actually, who I've encouraged, tried to get to do YouTube videos because he's completely off the grid and would have a lot to offer the community, but he won't do it. So because we lived about 800 miles away from each other, that was a way. YouTube was a way for us to stay together as a family and share things with each other. So anyway, that's how I started. Why I started YouTube was actually to stay in touch with my brother up in Pennsylvania, who's now in upstate New York off the grid. And anyway, I want to know about using Google Earth for water system design on the farm in the future. That's a great topic. Yeah, I love to do that. So we'll take you to Google Earth, we'll design a system, put your house, figure out the pressure. I've done a lot of this, and a lot of people say I'm not going to do this unless I have the same PSI that I have now, and I can do that if you have the elevation on your property. If you don't have the elevation on your property, then you can use a booster pump. So there's a lot of ways to do the water systems. And thanks. I want to know about using Google Earth for water systems. So is that still? Did we lag out here?
Right now it's good.
Okay. So I think, next time I will take a well, and I will take some well specs, and what I'll do is tell you how to, and I'll pull up pump charts and actually go through the simple calculations of how to design and specify a pump for the well to do a solar water pumping job, and hopefully that'll help a lot of people, and we'll walk you through it. If you want to be the guinea pig and you don't mind people walking on your farm, or we can use your property, and we'll do that on YouTube Live. So if anybody wants to be a guinea pig there, I would be happy to do it, or I'll just do it on my property because I've already done it here. How cold are you going to make your ice? That's a good question, Roy. Our set point on the chiller, which a multi-aqua's done before, was 17 degrees Fahrenheit to make ice. They didn't go any colder than that, and so that's going to be that's probably going to be our set point. Where am I? I'm in South Carolina. Okay. So how cold am I going to make the ice? I don't know if it's going to be more like slush or if it's actually going to be solid. It depends on the day. It depends on how much solar and how much I can get ahead of things. I apologize ahead of time for going off topic. Asked, were you involved with the TV show Doomsday Preppers? And how? I was David, Southern Prepper 1 and I were on the pilot episode, and then that was pitched to National Geographic. We were selected to be on the show again. We opted not to do that, but we decided that we would score everybody. So for 4.5 seasons, we scored everybody on Doomsday Preppers. That was Practical Preppers' job, contracted with Sharp Entertainment through National Geographic to do the scoring. And that's how we got involved and met so many awesome people. And the show kind of went off the rails, but that had nothing to do with us. We just did what we were told. How practical is building a tower for water storage to maintain pressure? Not very practical, Variant Reality. It's cool to have a water tower, but you know, you have to go for each foot. You take say you have a 100-foot water tower, you divide it by 2.31. That's going to give you your 43 psi. So if that's acceptable to you, you got to build a 100-foot water tower to gain that kind of pressure. Where what I tell people to do, there's a lot of simple solar booster pumps that can get you that kind of pressure, and for a lot less money. Because to build a sturdy 100-foot water tower is pretty. That's an expensive way to go. But it's cool if you can do it. Then you can just PV direct pump up into that tower and then gravity feed down. What refrigerant is in the chiller? It's 410. It is a 410F, but it is moving, Roy, over to remember the number that DuPont is it Emerson or DuPont? There's a new refrigerant number and I can't remember, but what's in my chiller is 410. Okay, cool. Was a huge fan of the show. Appreciate that, Argo. We met a lot of neat people, did a lot of traveling, and saw a lot of neat things through the show. So building back to Variant Reality, not very practical. Do a booster pump instead. Save you a lot of time, a lot of money. The ice balls are 1,000 or to minimum. Yeah. So Keith did check out. Can you tell us how much they cost each? Do you have any leftovers from jobs you'd be sell for experimentation? I mean, how many do you need, Keith? I only have, I have a few that I'm experimenting with and turning them into ice using the sun. So Pennsylvania is warming up finally. Ah, you're in Pennsylvania. Okay. We are in for guinea pigs. Riverview Farms, PA. That's cool. Why don't you please send me an email at info@practicalpreppers.com, and we'll use Riverview Farms, PA. It's again for guinea pigs, and we'll design a water system. That'd be fun. We'll just you'll put me on the spot and see if I know what I'm talking about, and we'll go over their farm and design a water system, a solar water pumping system that they could have for forever, and that would be a neat thing to do.
But they would pay you.
Take care, Argo. All right. How we doing? We're doing pretty good. We're about 40 minutes into the show and into our live session.
Yeah.
What else did we talk about? I had a couple other things. A lot of people have asked me about the Tesla stuff. I get constant questions. I just ignore it. And let me tell you why on the Tesla Powerwall stuff. The Tesla Powerwall came out as a DC coupled battery system, storage system. I'm not an expert on what Tesla has done, so they just basically came out, did a lot of marketing, but I don't know of anybody that's actually installed any of these things. So, and then they discontinued their DC Powerwall, and then they went to an AC coupled Powerwall now, but nobody can get their hands on any of those. So in the meantime, there's a lot of solar going in. So there's a lot of people that we have talked to that have decided not to do solar because they decided not to have a system because of Tesla. And Tesla is not ready with their shingles. They're not ready with their batteries. I don't know what their problem is, but in one way they're kind of cool. They've raised awareness, and a lot of people know the name, the brand. But it's not a practical thing right now. So I don't know if anybody out there actually have a Tesla Powerwall, and are you using it? And in the meantime, we've installed a lot of battery-based systems, and we're actually venturing into the 380-volt DC world. And most likely the first one that I will install will be a Panasonic coupled with a Pika Energy islanding inverter called an X7601, and that's a 380 volts. So it'll probably be Panasonic. We also have a not Wulong. Yeah, Wulong. Wulong. Is it Wulong? I can't remember. Oh, it starts with a double. We have a Chinese battery. We have a 24 kW, 317 volt DC battery that my friend has that we're going to hook to a chiller and do some electrical storage that way. And so anyway, right. Next questions. Group buy on solar panels. How many solar panels you need, Kevin? We can ship you pallets of them. I unload pallets here. Johnny from Gain Solar keeps sending me. I've kind of become the material warehouse for the jobs that we do together, and so we can get you panels and get good deals on them. Ship them anywhere in the country. What is the deepest I can install a simple pump, Mr. Top Hand? I've done 350. I don't recommend that. I typically, when I get to about 250, don't enjoy installing a simple pump. Can I do it? Yes, I can go farther. So how far do you need to go? And to what is your static water level? Not how deep your well is, but what is your static water level? Hello, it's Vosh. How you doing tonight? And people are coming in. They must have different, I don't know what, Yankee 4's in here. Very good. We've been going for about an hour, folks. Welcome. It's all hype now and good social media marketing. Yes, it is, James. Isn't there chemical metal cells that will generate hot and cold cycles based on combination of elemental composition? What? Huge. Did you mean to say huge? Chemical metal cells that will generate hot and cold cycles based on combination of... I don't know. There probably is. There's such a race for... CHP systems, organic Rankine cycles, battery technologies. It's a really exciting time. There are so many cool technologies out there, just absolutely amazing. Doug Compton asks, what do you think about Ames 12,000 watt inverter chargers? You know, Ames has been given a lot of... Ames is a cheap inverter. Let me just say that. It's a cheap inverter. But a lot of people can't afford the Magnums, the Schneiders, the Outbacks, the Pikas. So a lot of people buy Ames, and they've done fairly well. I don't know how much of a workhorse. When you can buy an Ames 12,000 watt inverter, that's just insane, and it surges, they say, to 24,000 watts or more. You know, I've used the Ames. I'm not a big fan of the Ames. I have an Ames behind me. You can't see it. It's in a yellow box behind me. People use them, and they do fairly well with them. You know, it's just how they're going to be used. I don't think it's an everyday live off of the grid type of inverter, but if it's what you can afford, great. It's amazing what they can sell a 12,000 watt inverter for. But I'm a fan of. All right, I need you to type in that email. All right, I need my email in there. All right, taking a break here to get you practicalpreppers.com. Okay, just put in the email address. That's what I need in my... Come on, moderator. He's fading out again.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Where's that icy ball?
I'm
Give me that
tired.
ice ball. Give me that ice ball. That'll work. No problem, Yankee 4. Not a problem. Make it extreme. You guys rock. Make what extreme? You could charge... Ames is not the best. No, you know, there's a lot of people that install. You know, Jason's got his opinion. He's on here. Jason Andrade. He's an Outback guy. Johnny's a Magnum guy. You know, I'm a Pika guy now. I'm trying to convince Johnny that Pikas are awesome. And so it's what you get used to. It's what you get fast at in terms of wiring and installing. Kotech is a cheap inverter, and they have a halfway decent pure sine inverter, as Ames does. So there's different scales, but we try to do American-made, awesome onboard chargers, heavy-duty inverters, because you know what? I don't like service calls. I don't like having to go back after these things have fried. And usually it's the field effect transistors, the FETs in them that fry. They're not heavy duty enough, and some of the AIMs and Cotex, and they're toast. And Jason's using the Simplify batteries. What voltage are they at, Jason? You're still at 3. You're not. They're not. They're 48 volt, right? Can I buy a 410 refrigerant without a license? I don't think you can, sir. Mr. James Bienuitz. Sorry if I butchered your name. The real Scott Hunt. Who's that? What's your opinion on? All right, get rid of. You're really falling down here. Get rid of this right now. Oh. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, somebody just made a channel being pretty bad. We got rid of that.
I'm trying to fake you.
No, it's what I got an email from Outback. The Skybox is delayed to the end of the year. Woo! Yeah. Hey Troy, glad you could join us. The Skybox we saw kind of hints of at Intersolar last year, and Jason keeps telling me about it, but I haven't seen it. MPP Solar, I've seen those coming on. I've seen them on a couple different channels, but you know, we can get you a good old Magnum and a good old Outback Radian. So anyway, the inverters that have been they're heavy. They have awesome chargers in them, like I said, and they're bulletproof. So hello, hey there, Evan from Indy. Just ordered an EWT 100 amp hour LiFePO 12 volt. Ooh, I bet you that was pricey. Oh, James tells me right there, 740. That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. I thought that would be pricey. You need to be a certified refrigerant guy to buy. You need to be a licensed HVAC technician to buy refrigerant. Typically, we do in our area. All right. We're all over the place, folks. We're on inverters, we're on pumps, we're on chillers, we're on refrigerants, we're on batteries. Great subjects, love them all. Yeah, already did it. Got him, Troxon. And we already banned Mr. So it's got twin 600 volts inverters built in. Skybox also has a phone type touchpad. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Scott Hunt from Alaska? No. I'm not from Alaska.
You're from New York.
I'm from upstate New York. Don't hold that against me. Anyway.
Just moved to south.
How we doing?
Chinese
Okay.
thought? What?
Chinese though. It's probably James Norris. Chinese batteries. Yes, I understand. They obviously they're going to be the cheapest ones out there. There's a lot of Chinese batteries. I just try to stay away from. I mean, we've been using Deca's, US Battery, Crown, SBS for the forklift batteries. Jason's using Simplify. You know, the hard to beat the name brand, better warranties and those kinds of things. I don't know how the warranty would be on that battery, James. You know, so anyway, good. What specific of gravity do you run your batteries at? I'm running at 1.27, 1.28 on my forklift batteries. I check it quite often. I baby my batteries. That's something, folks. I mean, most batteries are murdered by people. So if you have a lead acid, Roy asked a great question. What is the specific gravity of your batteries? And it's a way to basically know that your battery is at the in the right operating condition. And the manufacturer gives you what your specific gravity for that battery should be. They also provide for you your bulk, absorb, and float, and also your equalized voltages. So when you're hooking up your charge controllers to your batteries, so you program your charge controllers. We ran into that this week. We had somebody, I don't want to say accuse us, but ask us if we put our Midnight Classics on this battery bank and we just walked away without making sure. No, we made sure that those controllers are programmed with the factory specs for bulk, absorb and float and equalize so that the batteries are not overcharged. And so specific gravity 1.27, if that answer, hopefully that answered your question. The Doom guy, Universal Battery Group, the best Chinese AGM. That's good to, all right, that's cool. It's Vosh, I didn't know that. 1.275 to 1.285 at full charge. That's what you're using, Roy, for yours? I run mine at 1.28 and they're 2 years old. I use them 24/7. They're still like new. It's all about taking care of them. It is taking, these two guys, Roy and Yankee here, and there's other people that will vouch for that. You really need to babysit your lead acid batteries. A lot of people that just aren't like that. We give them AGMs. We probably should have given more of our customers AGM batteries because they just will not take care of them, and they're not putting enough battery. What?
Chase says.
Yeah, I already read it.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm way down on this. Come on, get that ice ball and wake yourself up. What do you think of iron Edison batteries? I'd hand that question off to Jason Andrade if he's still here. I was on a call with Outback. It's on his release date. Jason has actually installed an iron Edison battery. I know Jason has had some problems with the iron Edison batteries. Jason's an awesome expert on these things and a good friend, and he is West Coast Sustainables, or you'll see him on here. Subscribe to his channel. You'll learn a lot from Jason. We have. And so the iron Edison, he's had some explosions, some failures. He posted some of the pictures on Facebook, and he's done YouTube videos on the failures of some of the iron Edison that he's worked with. And so yeah, take care of your batteries. It's worth it. We have they're semi-automatic water kits that we put on ours from Water Tech in North Carolina. But it allows you to easily water all the batteries at once. And we've gone to sites and had to put 4 gallons of water in a battery. You just know that the water level's getting too low, getting below the top of the plates, and that's really bad. So if you got a lead acid battery, babysit. I was talking to a guy at what's the solar company out in Idaho? Backwoods Home. I think there's a guy there that had a lead acid battery bank that had lasted 22 years. And because there's 2 things. It's how you live your life. Can you live and use the battery when the sun is shining, so you're just using the battery as a buffer, and just you're not really discharging the battery. Can you live that way? And do you babysit them like these guys are talking about, equalizing and refreshing and checking specific gravity, making sure you're well watered. How much was that self-motorized solar generator you had in a recent video that you used on your recent project? That VSP, it actually is $9,400. It's expensive, and it has its place. Most of the people on here probably would not opt for that and build their own, and but it's cool. It's very heavy, so they put a transmission in it so you can drive it wherever you want. So and they do not supply solar. You have to come up with your own solar on it, and we can help you with that if you're interested in that. Which battery do you personally like? Well, I've used a lot of Decas, and they've done well for me. I have some US batteries, and they've also done well, some L16s. I have an SBS system, a large 48 volt 930 amp hour battery bank now. I've only had a year on it, but it's done great. I like batteries that I can afford. Batteries are very expensive.
Look, it's Troy from last
Yeah, I just talked to him. You're not listening to me. I just answered his question.
Hi, Mom. What?
Yeah, go ahead and get rid of them. Not Troy, but
Pika.
yeah, just don't even say it. Just do it. Aquino. It's not Aquino. Yeah, that's oh, what is it? Aquamira. Oh, the water. Yeah, the saltwater battery, but it's not Aquino. It will come to me soon. What's soon, Chris? Batteries last the charge 10 years in a truck, 14. I don't know what soon is. Soon. Okay. I enjoy this chat. I enjoy all the comments coming through here. They didn't go bankrupt. It's not Aquino. What is it? What's the battery company? My goodness gracious. What is that battery company, Elijah? Don't you know this, Elijah?
No, because I'm not with you.
Saltwater batteries. What is that? Out of business. Aqueon. Oh, I could not remember that. So let's get back to the chat, YouTube. So, yeah, Aqueon it's not Aquino. So I was like, that didn't sound right. But, yeah, Aqueon is we had high hopes. We were actually working with Pika to see if Aqueon would series their batteries. They had parallel stacks. We were hoping that they would series their stacks, their 52 volt stacks, up to get us a 380 volt battery for the Pika. But they've gone Aqueon. Yes, yes. Sorry, the guy that spelled it wrong. We attacked them. Check specific gravity weekly till under control, then monthly. Why not look at lithium more closely? Both lithium, yeah, life pose, Jadu. I have a humless. What's that noise? I'm actually wearing a humless shirt today. The lithium ferrophosphate 4s. I've got them. I've had them in a humless here. They've worked really well. And so there is a place. I'm fine with the lithium. We use them in our, got them in our phones. Not a problem. So that's cool. Oh, what happens when you are away from the homestead for what happens when you are away from the homestead for a few days? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. So my cows are pretty much controlled. I've got them. I make sure, but when I leave, they've got hay, because when I leave, they get out. I don't know if that's the kind of stuff you're talking about. So Elijah pulls security. He's a pretty good shot with an AR, and no, I'm messing with him. Ice it out of him. Ice it out of him. Oh.
Ice.
Give me one of those ice balls again.
No.
Come on, moderator.
I'm tired.
Yeah. What are you doing in here? No super chats tonight. Cool. So actually we pick up more. I'm trying to figure this YouTube live thing out. I made an announcement yesterday, but now we have more people on here than ever right now, so that's crazy. 775, did you ever learn more? Start eating fermented vegetables. Some of the guys that I've been working with, they all bring their fermented vegetables and I eat theirs. They're doing a better job of it than I am. So Johnny and Abraham, those guys always bring their kraut and veggies and I eat it. Good stuff. I should be doing more of it, just there's so many things to do. Haven't had the time to ferment anymore. I was at the last prepper conference up in North Carolina. I bought some more equipment for fermentation, so I'm a big fan of it. Just need to do it. And okay, ice it out of him. So did I lose? I think I lost my moderator. My moderator only makes it for about an hour, and he cannot take it anymore. So I guess I can do it. I'm using lithium-ion 48-volt battery for. Oh, nice. Just when he leaves, I gotta do some blocking here. And I almost read the whole thing. So, saltwater batteries are out of business. Yes, they are. They're out of business. They were a really cool battery, Jeff and Emily. They just are a neat battery. Kind of stood out from everybody else, but I don't know if it's a business failure or a technology failure. Need hydronic heat pump, 12 volt for RV. That's interesting. And Mr. Schweitzer, need hydronic heat pump, 12 volt for RV. I don't think that there is one. Obviously, that's why you're asking for it. Kevin says they are not out of business. Okay, well, they had a bankruptcy, so a lot of people used the law to restructure. So if they're not out of business, then that's great, because I really like the Aqueon. I actually, through Solar Panels Plus, I can actually sell Aqueons, but I'll check into that. It's a restructure. All right, 10-4. So you will be writing more, another book perhaps. If I had time, yes. Right now, my pursuit is the continual pursuit to do things direct, and what I mean by that is trying to. We talk a lot about batteries, but batteries are a weakness in all the systems that we're talking about. And so, unless it's a thermal battery, then I find that very simple, very practical, very wise. But if I can do everything solar direct, I will move water, store water, move cold, move heat. So I am trying to do things without batteries, but sometimes I just have to use them. And so I'm just in this constant pursuit to. I want to pump water, move water. I want to use water to make electricity. Several folks have sent me messages. Why did I stop on the organic Rankine cycle? There's an ORC video I did where I had a frame, 2 heat exchangers, and trying to find the perfect scroll compressor, or expander is the term that is used. If you look up organic Rankine cycle, I think Turbo Den has the best industrial organic Rankine cycle out there. So picture being able to just start a fire and make electricity. That's kind of where I want to get to. That's kind of the grand finale for me. I say that now. There'll be something else that will come up. But after we master hydronics, which people spend a lifetime to, so I'm facetious there. After I spend a lot of time on hydronics, at the same time, I am going to move over to the hopefully, over to the organic Rankine cycle. If any of you have experience with an ORC, let me know. So the ORC is basically a steam engine, the Rankine cycle. The organic Rankine cycle is using an organic media, fluid, and refrigerant to expand and then condense and then continue the loop. Let me just pop up. I can find a simple ORC cycle. Let me see if I can find a organic Rankine cycle. So if I put this up here, you see the simple. This is an organic Rankine cycle. It is very similar to the Rankine cycle, obviously, which is historically, classically, a steam engine cycle. All right, we are. Where is an ORC here with the components? Bear with me 1 second. Organic Rankine cycle. Let me find a cool image of it to kind of get us to talk about it. Let's talk about this. The organic Rankine. What's a good picture here? Da-da, da-dee-dee. Ah, simple. I want a simple one. Darn it. Let's go with geothermal waste recovery. That's too complicated to start the conversation. Okay, let's do this. Can you see this image? This is really small. Alright, let me use this as an image here. I hope you can see it. You have basically a heat source and a heat exchanger. This could be a boiler that's boiling off refrigerant. That's being well, it's actually, they got this upside down. Oh my goodness. So the heat never goes down, but this is a backwards thing. It goes through a turbine expander that expands, and this is going to be turning some sort of motor on here, and that will make will make electricity. And then as the refrigerant comes through, it has to be condensed and brought back down to a pump, and this cycle continues. So you're basically heating, and hopefully I'm doing it with water, which boils off a refrigerant. So it's another refrigerant cycle. It's an organic Rankine cycle, and it is awesome. I mean, it is something that is beyond awesome. So this is something I really want to do. Pulling up the chat window here again. What is Jason's Facebook? Jason Andrade. Send me an email if I can't find you for him. Look up West Coast Sustainables. That's how you'll find Jason. Okay. Tesla doesn't perfect or prove anything. Agreed. Anyway, I'm checking out. Make me a moderator. Which better? I might have to do that, Chase. Which better lead acid batteries? Lithium better for full discharge. Well, the lithiums do a better job on full discharge. Lead acid batteries shouldn't be fully discharged. We never, there's just so many cycles in it, but the lithium definitely does a deep discharge better. Hanwha Solar is working on mechanically wound energy storage. It spins a generator after the sun goes down. What? A mechanically wound energy storage? You mean like a flywheel? It spins a generator after the sun goes down. That's awesome, It's Vash. Tell me more. Sorry, guys. I was wrong, Kevin Burkett. Okay. Fat fingers are my problem. My problem instead was a follow-up question. How often do you check specific gravity? I check it about once every 2 weeks. Check your batteries when fully charged. Yes, there is a proper time to check it. Have you ever connected water, wind, and solar? Absolutely. No, not. I've done water and solar. I've done wind and solar, but I haven't done water, wind, and solar, Alex. In the area that I live, wind is not a good resource. It's not a consistent resource, so I haven't done a lot of wind. Next week, though, Johnny Valentine and I will be installing 2 wind turbines. We'll put a YouTube video up of that on a neat, really tall barn, and not looking forward to that because I'm gravitationally challenged, but got to do it. James Norris is going lithium. Done with lead Zepp batteries. Come on, James. Nothing wrong with good old lead acid batteries, but we do need some new awesome battery technology. About 2 minutes and I'm appreciate that. If it'll keep ice cream sandwich frozen, then it's gonna work okay. I don't know what that's in regards to. Your sustainable plan for water is essentially electric, solar, manual. Do you also keep manual tools? Woodworking, kitchen? Yes, have a lot of manual tools. A lot, from saws to shovels to chisels, a lot of manual tools. I don't splitting mauls, axes. Yeah, I've got all the hatchets. Got a lot of manual tools. NASA is working on a flywheel. It can store power for 3 days. Woo! That's another thing, guys. That is an awesome. I want to do a flywheel so bad. We have good wind here in Minnesota, 94. Yeah, Roy, that's where you are. Okay, I talked to a gentleman in Montana today that I sold a wind turbine to, and he loves it. And he's got it on a tip-up tower. He's got about 12-mile-an-hour average wind speed. It's phenomenal. That little turbine, 12-volt, just screams. Is there a common temperature differential range from condenser to evaporator? Common temperature difference? Yeah. A common. There is a totally a different temperature range on here. You have your evaporator here and your condenser here. So I guess the gentleman is asking what is the typical range between the two. 180 here, 60 here, about 120 delta T. The higher, where did he go? Let me go back to that. That's a great question, Antone. The higher the differential, the more opportunity to make energy. I'm trying to do it with a boiler or a chiller or something, heat exchangers off a generator. So I'm still trying to make power with the lowest possible temperature differential between the condenser and the evaporator, if that makes sense. So the best I can get, if I'm using ground geothermal water, is about 60 degrees, and then 180. I can do about 120 delta T between condenser and evaporator. That's not going to make a lot of power, but if I could make 2 kW, which would be my goal, 2 kW a day out of an organic Rankine cycle, 2 kW period times 24. If I can do close to 50,000 watts off an ORC, I will be doing a jig on YouTube Live. North Star battery. Missouri did the battery wall. Blah, 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 blah. Not exactly sure. Buddy Higgins. Hey, buddy. Google Chateau Pensmore solar project. Why do I know that? That's Chateau Pensmore. That is isn't that that's Brantley. That's Jason knows that guy. Anyway, the Hanwha is a flywheel. It's as much power as a good-sized battery. I love the flywheel. I love the flywheel. I'm a mechanical engineer, so of course I love the flywheel. I mean, that's right up my alley. A possible battery. Chateau Pensmore. Okay, now he's got me going on the Chateau Pensmore. Pensmore. Let me. Jason's still there. Yeah, that is. Oh, I know the guy that did the solar for this, buddy. What is his name, buddy? Do you know the guy? I talked to him the other day. He is another really awesome solar guy. Good friends with West Coast Sustainables, and I've just drawn a blank at who he is. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Yeah, that energy system in Chateau Pensmore is incredible. That's I think he has 10 stacked Outback Radians, like 80,000 watts, 150 surge, ridiculous. Beautiful job too. The battery's gorgeous. Very impressive. Turning in from the Midwest. Just learned of your channel. I like your pond power apparatus. Good work. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I got to do some more pond power. I had fun. Was able to go down and use some power tools down at the pond. Just plug in. No batteries. That was fun. I get so many comments that I'm wasting water. And on the pond thing, the pond is a storage apparatus that I dump through the low head turbine and make DC regulated power. Make power, and I can make 120 volts on that unit that you saw. It's just awesome. Everybody's worried about me dumping water out of my pond. I don't get it. That's what hydro is. How much wood we use every day for the ORC at 2 kW? Good question, Walter. You know, I would probably not use much more than I'm using now because I keep that at it is a very good question. I have a hard time knowing how much wood I use in that wood boiler because I'm heating my house, I'm heating my domestic water, and if I add on an organic Rankine cycle, I don't know. What I'm going to have to do, I'm going to rely more on this chiller to do my heating and cooling in my house, and then I'm going to dedicate the wood boiler to the ORC. And so I'm going to run it a little hot too. I'm going to crank the wood boiler up to 195 to 200 degrees so I can increase that differential between the condenser temperature and my evaporator, between my evaporator and my condenser, and get some more juice out of it. So I don't know how much wood I would use every day. I wish I could give you a good answer on that, Walter. I don't know. Not that I don't care, and don't take that the wrong way. I just think it would be an amazing thing for somebody to be able to throw a piece of wood in a boiler. It's a very simple task. Keep it going and make enough electricity to run their home. And that's just, James Bartley. Yes, sir. Hey, Johnny. Sorry, brain dead. That is the Pensmore. He did an awesome job with that. If you go to that, he's got plenty of wood, plenty of water, plenty of solar. Is engine coolant not hot enough to drive ammonia fridge? I don't think it is. I don't think it is hot enough to drive an ammonia refrigerator. I don't think you can do it. I think you need flame. That's why propane is used all the time. What about running a gasoline motor on hydrogen and using the power to run the engine? Yeah, hydrogen is out there. I've kind of chickened out. A lot of people have made their little electrolysis machines and have blown the roof off their shops and blown things up. I haven't gone that route yet. So, James, go for it. Let me know how it works. Go Hydro. There's Spencer Langston. Langston's Alternative Power. Got Gain Solar Services on here. A lot of good friends. They do a lot of great work. You want to subscribe to their channels. And wood and water. How many surface acres and drawn used for pond power? It is about 1/3 of an acre. I probably draw down 250,000 gallons when I run it from top to bottom. So if my pond is full and I want to use the Langston's Alternative Power Hydro, I will lower my intake into the way I did it on these Fernco couplings. I can lower my intake pretty far down, about 4 feet. It's about 250,000 gallons of water, and I can dump it through there. It works out to be about 1,200 gallons a minute, I think, is what I'm getting, and I can produce about 600 watts for 4 hours constant, and it runs constantly. And it takes me a couple days for the pond to recover. The fish kind of think that they're about to die, but there's enough water for the fish. And thermostat on a car is 180 to 190, so that's not that hot. Yeah. So probably not going to run the refrigeration off of the heat from an engine. Any mini splits yet out there to run on direct solar DC? Mitch, that's a good question. Any mini splits out there? The closest we have is the Hotspot DC mini split, but it does require that regulated 48 volts from a battery bank. But the cool thing is, during the day, it's running directly. It's just, yeah. So, can I hook solar panels directly to a compressor and run it? I have not seen that mini split yet. I want it. The closest I have is what I think I have is the AC/DC. Has just enough AC power to regulate the two power supplies, both the DC and the AC, and give you what you want. And but I don't know of a direct drive DC. There's got to be some. We got to come up with that, guys. I mean, that's just something that's just so awesome. It's the same thing we do when I do with solar water pumping. The hotter it gets, the more water it pumps. Why not run a compressor? I'm running pumps. I'm running motors, and you know, the beautiful thing is if you couple what Mitch and Cassie just asked about the mini splits, if you could solar direct drive a compressing system and store the cool, store it in water, store it in ice, store it in a thermal bank, just what it would do is produce a lot of cooling every day for free, no batteries. I want one. I want to work on that. Oh, you guys got me sidetracked. If you want to set solar panels for powering air, how much approximately kilowatts will you need? It depends on the tonnage of the air conditioner, the load, where you're going to run it. If you know, I have 1,000 watts on my house to run a 1-ton mini split, if that helps. How about the Gene Payne method with compost pile hydronic heating? We pull heat off of our mulch all winter. Engineer775 that. Yeah, that's a great source of heat. I mean, I had a gigantic pile of all sorts of refuse from the compost from the farm, and it's very hot. Yeah, that's doable. Why don't you make that, Johnny? That'll be a good gain solar project. Lots of woods claiming over there. That's the beautiful thing about hydronics, guys. Like Johnny just brought up compost pile hydronic heating. You know, take all of it, the geothermal, compost pile, your well, spring, ground temperature, wood boilers, chillers. We're just moving heat around, and you're moving it around smartly and recovering it. You got these coefficients of performance that go from 1 to 7. So we've done a lot of dumb things, and we're slaves to the power company when we need to think smarter and use what we have. Most people don't realize the resources that they need to live sustainably are on their property. So pull mulch off of your pull heat off your mulch all winter. Absolutely. Langston's, I need to get, so I have a job, I'll need help with hydro on. There you go. Langston and Yankee are networking there. DC brushless motors. Down here you don't even have to cut wood. They all dying and growing all over. Move behind a Walmart Express. You can chill the swamp water and heat off the parking lot. Yeah. So now you guys are thinking. You're thinking about different heat sources that are amazing. And, you know, there's more energy in waste heat in our country than any solar farm, wind farm. You take all the solar, all the wind in this entire country, and it won't touch the amount of energy that is found in waste heat from industrial, from automotive, the industrial world. You can't touch it. You can't touch the BTUs, but we're not using it. If we can capture some of that, it'd be totally awesome. That's what we're working on. Skywire, yes sir, buddy. We did find that out. Thank you, buddy Huggins. James Brantley is the gentleman from Skywire. Great guy. Ronnie. Hello, Ronnie. Ronnie's subbing in for Johnny at Gain Solar. Langston's Alternative Power. There's your there's a phone number that that Spencer just posted there. Check him out. He's a good guy. He has some cool hydro turbines. Sorry, folks. I'll always say turbine. Need to properly clean stream running through it. Need property with clean stream running through it. So do I. Wouldn't everybody want that? Not everybody can do that. My friend called San Antonio to rent panels from them. They lied. Yeah, there's a lot of people lying to other people in the world. There's a lot of hucksters and tricksters trying to take advantage of people, even putting solar on the north side of houses. Oh man, I'm glad I got this other laptop here. Alright, we just blocked Pamela Henderson. Goodbye. Yeah. Hey folks, you guys who just came on here, that's cool. We've had a consistent super chat. Who put up a super chat? That's wild. Anyway, so we've bounced. Imagine that. We've gone from hydro to orcs to chillers to ways to get heat. Think about, ways to get heat off, creative ways to make heat, store heat, move heat from what you already do at your property, and taking that heat and bringing it into the water through heat exchangers, and just moving it around in a smart way to lower your energy usage and to live more sustainably. Use the exhaust manifold to do ammonia fridge. You're getting up there. That should be plenty hot enough to do that. Now you're talking, Doug. The other cool thing about the exhaust temperatures is to use thermoelectric generators, and maybe you could do it electrically and just use the tags, the thermoelectric generators. CPS Power wants to rent. The way the customer will never break even. Yeah, there's just so many rip-offs. Be careful. Get multiple quotes when you go into solar. Don't get ripped off, folks. Why can't you run a water turbine without having the proper situation to write it properly? Then why can't it be? I don't understand, James. I don't understand that question. Maybe because it's late. I do these at 9 after a long day sometimes, and I just can't translate some of these. Do you have a spare Honda generator you can send so I could do a 380 volt, and I promise I won't break it, and you can still use it for 120 volts? I do have a spare. I don't know. If you have one, you have none. So if you have two, you have one. Isn't that the rule? Langston, you're breaking my prepper rules. So Spencer wants one of my Honda generators. I had mentioned to him about building a 380 volt generator so that we could couple it with the Pika inverter, and he wants to do that. So sounds like he's gonna break it. Most likely, but Spencer's pretty handy. He probably can fix it. So I don't know if I can give up. Johnny, should I give him one of my 2000 EUs? That's kind of hard to part with. I don't know, Spencer. You're really asking for a lot there. But that's what Spencer does. He breaks things. No, he doesn't. I don't know if I could do that. We'll talk about it. Cool. Glad to see you in South Carolina as well, brother. We'll call you soon. Who are you talking to, Yankee? You talking to me? Oh, no, you're talking to Spencer. Yeah, he's in South Carolina too. Whoa. Alright, what else? I had some other screens up here. Variable refrigerant flow. Oh, I'll just show you this just while I've got it up here. Somebody had asked about the chill tricks. This is a 2-ton chiller that we sell through Hotspot Energy, and it can be stacked up to produce up to 30 tons. It's a heat pump, heating and cooling. It's got a reversing valve in it, and pretty cool little unit. It's getting better and better. I think it has a Toshiba inverter compressor in it, And so it's a neat unit to consider running on solar. It's not PV direct, but it is something that you could run off of a Magnum and an Outback. Any decent inverter could run this. So wanted to show you the chill tricks. And man, this is why I need 3 screens, so I can get this chat, so I can see the chat, what's going on there. Swap Spencer for a 380 hydro. The hard part of hydronic is chopping the coil into the air conditioner. Yes, I guess, but there's 2 coils. You know, the Mr. Gain Solar mentioned the hard part of switching over to hydronic is having to put these heat exchangers or coils. On the heat side, it's a coil. It's like a radiator, cutting it into the positive side of the fan. But you also, when you're doing cooling, you've got to change out the A coil. So sometimes there's some sheet metal work, but you can buy these things, folks. First choice, I think there are 4-pipe heat exchangers that are on the market. So usually the air handlers aren't that expensive. The condensing unit and the compressor and all that's more expensive, but you can buy a complete hydronic unit that has the coils already built in. They have pumps that are integral to them. They have A coils that are all hydronic. So by the time you get done chopping, which I've done on mine, I wanted to do it. I cut my coils in for my wood boiler. I've ripped out the A coils and put in hydronic A coils, and did the appropriate sheet metal work to make sure I've blocked it off. But you know, I did that to try to save some money and to try to figure out how the air handler worked. But that's really not, you know, from a commercial standpoint, I wouldn't do that. I would just buy you a 4-pipe air handler and you'd be done, and it would be beautiful. Anyway, next week's E775 event, I'll be on Firefox Browser to avoid stream loss and constant browser refreshing because of ad servers. Interesting. So I don't see any of that here. I am trying to be lean and mean and not cause any grief on the streaming. I'm actually going to get my IP. I'm going to get this thing cranked up a little bit more, some more megabits. Hello, Ray. Joy Amber Rivers. Hi there. Hello, John Amber Rivers Homestead. Cutting the cool into the air handle is not fun. Yeah, it's more like replacing. They actually slide out in trays. It's not too bad. Need one a lot smaller. How would you change your systems if you live somewhere flat like Florida where you do not have gravity to help with anything? Walter, the only thing that I would change, there's a lot of flatlanders that, you know, there's a lot of people that don't have elevation change on their property in any state. They're just flat, and so all I would change is I'd still use solar to get the water out of the ground without batteries. I'd pump it into a cistern, and then I would boost from that cistern using solar and batteries. And I've done a bunch of those, and they've worked that combination works really well. I've done a lot and helped a lot of people in Florida. The cool thing about Florida typically is your water table is very high, your static water level is high, so you don't require a lot of energy to get water out of the ground compared to people that have to pump from 5, 6, 7, 800 feet or deeper. You have it made there. So what you lack in elevation changes, you gain in high static water levels. So there's a way. We do it all the time. I'd mount panels flat. Are you being smart? Is that Ronnie being smart at Gain Solar? Been watching for now. Sorry, Chase, I've bored you to death probably. I don't want to change the conversation. I was just curious, what do you think about using a water turbine and making the water supplement to power it man-made, simple, and convenient for uses for recycle? Whoa. I don't know what that means. I don't care if you change the conversation. I'm just trying to figure out what you're asking me. Using a water turbine, making the water supplement to power. I'm not exactly sure. It said something about putting the water back in offline. I would like to make a Y to take heat from my PV and move it to my water here. That's a great one, Yankee. There's a lot of discussion on that right now, and we're going to have something soon. I would like to make a way to take the heat from my PV. Yeah, taking heat off of your solar panels does a couple of things. Obviously, it provides you a tremendous heat source, a lot of water, and it also improves the efficiency of the PV panel. Again, solar panels and an electrical device. The hotter it gets, the more resistance is found in the device. If you pull up any data sheet on a solar panel, you're going to see a curve that shows the electricity production drop off after a certain temperature is reached. And if you can pull the heat off of the PV panel because they get so hot, then you would do two things. You'd have a free hot water source and a more efficient panel. So there's a lot. There are people that make some things out there. We're working on something now. Looking forward to sharing that. And what you thought about high pressure spray foam insulation. There's a lot of people. I don't. I had no problem with spray foam insulation. I have that kind of insulation in my wood boiler. It's fantastic. The closed cell foam. Is it closed cell foam? Anyway, I don't have an opinion right now. I'm a fan of insulation. It's fast. I like open cell foam a lot. Closed cell is overkill where useless and where unless and what? The water questions are real tongue twisters. Gallons per minute. Does your circulation pump run to keep an A coil cold? About 12 gallons a minute, Spencer. Good question. We're running about 12 GPM. And that's more, it's not so much driven by the A coil, it's driven by the sensors in the, let me see if I can do this. It's driven by the sensors in the chiller. There's, I think it'll go down about 8 GPMs and it'll shut down the chiller. So we're still experimenting with that. So the water set point is like 32 degrees. It depends on what we're trying to do. It used to be 45, but now we're trying to make the ice bank. We're lowering and lowering it. So it doesn't. The A coil's not driving it. It is the chiller that's driving it. So this thing. Okay. Okay, guys. Not feeling well. Going too long off. Okay, Yankee 4. Appreciate your input. God bless you. Take care. Have a good night. Gets super hot here, 3 months, 100 or more summer every day. Then that's the beauty of using solar chiller. The solar chiller, solar hydronics is coming, and the hotter it gets, the more cold we can make. I love the paradox. So just think about that. That I've kind of, I don't want to say I've proven it out with solar water pumping. The hot, when I do these farms and they have lots of livestock, black animals, 100-degree weather, and they need water, and I can do it all with a very small solar pump and not too big of a cistern. It works, and so that's it. No, it's not a variable. Well, in the ones we just installed, we have a constant pump. It's set at 12 GPMs. They're an American stainless. They're a 3250 RPM. They're pumping at 12 GPM, so 3200 RPM motor, I believe. Look up American stainless pumps. That's what we're using for the circ pumps on both the cold circuit and the heat storage circuit. But they use a lot of power, right, Ronnie from Gain Solar Services? We clamped those and we were surprised. We had 7.6 amps at 240 volts. That kind of scared me. I think we were at 1800 watts. Multiply that times 24 and that's kind of scary. But we also put 40,000 watts of solar on the job, so we got it. No, Buddy Higgins I don't think is the owner of that company. No, Buddy Higgins is not the owner of that company. That would be James Brantley is the owner of that company in Missouri. Good guy. He has one of those Geik Schledder pile drivers. He can put all those Schledder ground mounts in hydraulically. That's pretty awesome. So all right, there's still people on here. Some people just listening. And any other questions? We've gone a good hour and a half. I'm enjoying this. I don't know if you guys are. Next week's topics again will probably be. We're gonna take that one farm. Folks, for you that came on here late, there's a guy that volunteered to be a guinea pig for me, and we're gonna use his farm. We're gonna design him a water system on the fly. and hopefully that'll be helpful to him, and not only him, but anybody else that's interested in doing the same thing. No, John, no, Mr. Ronnie, that's not. I'm not talking about a tractor right now. Blue Farrell, hi, hey Simpsonville, hey Blue Farrell, how you doing? Somebody pretty close to me, and but I will talk about it if it happens. Good topics. Bartley, not Brantley. Yes, James Bartley, not Brantley. That's Trey. Sorry. All right. Cool. All right, for you folks, if you don't mind, give me some feedback. Does my camera stink? Don't talk about my face, but does the camera, can you see? I got a really cheap webcam. I think I need to change it. Lots of glare. The other thing is, can you hear me okay? I did some changes to my microphone and audio. Is this acceptable, or do I need to improve it? So this is great. Big thanks. You're welcome, Walter. Thank you for coming on here. Hi there. We have an off-grid power. If you hi there. We have off-grid power. If you are in Georgia, how much to you for take a look at a turbine we are putting up? What is it, John Amber Rivers Homestead? Tell me what it is, and because we're going to be in Georgia next week, putting up 2 turbines. So if you want to send me an email, info@practicalpreppers.com, I might be able to help you out there, and between Johnny and I, give you some, hopefully some solid advice. We're not wind experts. We're learning. Done a few little things with wind. I have some experience with the Berge wind turbines out of Oklahoma and the Primus Airs. But because we don't have a lot of good wind sites, I don't have a lot of expertise. We're going to be putting up a Pika. I can't wait to do that. A Pika wind turbine putting out 380 volts soon. I hope we put it on a monster tower. So I'm excited about that. Yep, not wind. Camera is fine. Audio is good. Angle is bad because of the glare from your glasses. Other than that, great. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let me just ditch the glass. I have a hard time seeing the chat is so small. Sorry. Yeah, the glare. Oh, that's horrible, isn't it? Yeah, I need to work on the glare. Sorry about that. Looks good, sounds good. More interested in content than quality. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that. But not everybody is. A lot of people are very fussy about the way things look. Does everything have to be complicated, or can it be easier? Yeah, today, I went to, that's a great question. The guy that just asked, why does it have to be complicated? It doesn't have to be complicated. I drove past a beautiful place today. I pulled over and took a picture of this. I went up to meet a lady, and I put a simple mechanical hand pump in her well. She's very happy. If the power goes off, she has water. Simple, mechanical, easy. People are happy. So that is not complicated. That is very simple. So we do simple things, and we do complicated things. We do the whole mix, from the 1700s with ram pumps, 1800s with double acting rams, and we get into hand pumps that came a little later. And then we're talking about hydronics tonight, so we're getting into some complicated stuff, into differential control thermostats and circ pumps that have ECM motors and blah, 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 blah. But that's just because I love that stuff. But I also have very simple things on my homestead that work, that won't fail, and I like that too. So we do a lot of simple stuff because I'm a mechanical engineer and I like the mechanical stuff. And so give me a hand pump and an old wood cook stove and a roof over my head. I'm a happy guy. Camera's good unless you need an excuse for a better camera. Thanks, Hilltopper. We need some help. We just need some help on putting it up on the Genesis? What? Genesis turbine? I'm not sure. Orlando Sanchez, not sure about that. Hey, Elmer Ebersol, what do you mean had over 50% failure rate? Talk to me on that. Stay away from Sunforce turbines. Oh, those are the cheap Sunforce. Are those the ones that Northern sells? Those junky? Sorry, Johnny, didn't you have one of those? Or Ronnie, you still there? I think that's what you picked up that one day. Spending money is easy. The rest is payoff. I need some pointers. Fire away, John. What's your question? We just need some help on getting the... Okay, I got you. We're clearing some land to put up. Okay. I can turn a car alternator into a home power source easily. Is that bad? No, it's not bad. Anything that makes power is good. Some things are cheaper than others. Go for it. You'll learn a lot. Just do it. You know, take that car alternator, charge the battery. Some of the, you know, the old Delco Remis, Spencer could speak to that maybe a little bit, but they, you know, you can make 80. There's alternators out there that put out 120 amps at 12 volts. That's awesome. Get a real alternator. Just don't get a standard Delco that's not putting out any power. Get a you know, look. I think some of the Dodges had 100 amp alternators on them. You could do a lot of work with that alternator. Take care, Johnny. It's all complicated. Turbinator, and you can order a turbinator in 380 volts. Yes, he took down a yeah, a lot of failure. There's a lot of junk out there, folks. There's a lot of junk out there. Why do we try to overcomplicate things? We do not try to overcomplicate things. We try to make things work, and we just are on a quest to figure out how to do things smarter. And sometimes there's a lot of things we're talking about here that overlap. We have renewable energy overlapping air conditioning, overlapping water pumping, overlapping with water heating, and we're trying to come up with a system in this hydronics this thing I've been talking about, to do it in one system that is flexible enough to take and move heat from all these things to eliminate your power bill. So it's doable. It's what we do. We like to figure things out, and when they work, people are really happy. You know, folks, this week I got an awesome message. I checked in on a few people. I got a guy called me. I texted him. I said, "How's your system doing?" He goes, "It's great. My power bill was $8.96 this month. I carried over 200 kW, and that's awesome." He just thanked me. It's just very humbled by it. They have no power bill for the rest of their life. It's amazing. Yeah, we make things only as complicated as we make them. That is true. So the Transit has a 900 amp alternator, basically power the whole van and the shelves too. 900 amp? There ain't no way. Really? Have you had a hydronic cooling and heating system where the heat exchanger was either buried or sunk in a lake or a pond? Joseph, that's a great question. No, I haven't, because my water isn't that cold here. But if you ever look up John Siegenthaler, he's also known as Siggy, S-I-G-G-Y, in the hydronics world. He's kind of the guru of this. And they've put these heat exchangers, big heat exchangers, that they've lowered down into the bottom of these lakes, that they can get down below the thermocline, way down, and do some amazing heat exchanging. The cool thing about some of the northern lakes, that they can actually, they're getting temperatures off of the lakes that are below, pulling the water in that's actually below the dew point in the house. So they're actually able to dehumidify without a compressor. They're just circulating water. I'm very jealous of that. So, Joseph, it's a great question. I have not used a heat exchanger that's buried or sunk in a lake or pond, because I wouldn't gain much in South Carolina by doing that. And but there are places that is an awesome thing to do. 20-foot diameter 3-bladed prop might be enough. 20-foot diameter. Yeah, if we did a 23-foot diameter 3-bladed prop on a mountain in Virginia, that is awesome. By Berge wind turbines out of Oklahoma. What is the maximum voltage for the pocket inverter on the input? I'm not sure who you're talking to. Oh, on the Pika inverter. What is the maximum voltage for the Pika inverter? 420 volts. Okay, I finally figured out what you were asking me. 420 volts max on the Pika. I worry about using old alternators to generate power due to being dirty power, even with rectifiers. But again, if you're using the alternators to charge batteries, the batteries can clean up a lot for you. Then use your inverters to run off of that. So, if I can use that old alternator, I'm not necessarily running my loads directly, right? I'm going to just charge the battery bank and then go. Hail shield for panels. Thankfully we haven't had any hail bust any panels here, but that's a different story in Texas. I have a 200-foot well at an off-grid farm. They installed a 1 horsepower pump, and I can run it with 240 off a generator, but I would rather be able to run it off of solar. Okay, Stemmy. One of the options that you have is to change out the pump, and but there are inverters like the Magnum and some of the bigger inverters that can run that pump, that 1 horsepower pump. So you can run it off of solar. A lot of it's depending on how far down, what's your static water level. The easiest way to determine if you get an electrician, or maybe you have a meter where you can actually capture the inrush amperage of that well pump. How many amps at startup and how many runtime amps. So a lot of these pumps are going to pull 25 to 35, 1 horsepower, 25 to 35 amps on startup. Capture that, find out what it is. If it's up in the 40s, we're getting scary, and we're not going to be able to start it on certain inverters. So the best thing for you to do on your pump to see if you can run it off of solar is to figure out its startup amps and its runtime amps. If you can't do that, or if you just want to go a different route, then I would recommend the Grundfos SQF, the SQ Flex pump. It's a 0 startup, and you're going to be pulling maybe 3 amps, 4 amps on 240. Super efficient, and you can run it off of solar. Would it be easier to try to swap out the pump for something more solar? If I read your next question, Stemmy, I'd be better off, wouldn't I? Or try to build out a solar set. I would just go with the Grundfos, to be honest with you. It's going to be very forgiving to your inverter. It's going to give you plenty of water, and if you need help with that, just let me know. I sell those, I install those. But I also believe in keep it simple, stupid. I agree with you, Grizz. We do a lot of simple things. I guess the more I've been into this, you're seeing complicated things on my YouTube channel, but I started out, and I still do, like I did today, a very simple thing. Very simple solutions are good, but we're trying to cover all of it. We start simple, go complex, but we keep coming back to simple solutions. Do the simple things first, then add the bells and whistles. Flux. How deep is the thermal line in southwest Missouri? I have no idea. A lot of it will depend on the depth. A lot of it depends on is the water source shaded. It depends on a lot. I have a 60-foot bored well. Can I put a hand pump without DHEC making a poop fit? Absolutely. That's not a problem. You have a bored well. Is it a 2-foot diameter or 3-foot diameter, Blue Ferrel? Do you have a concrete cap on it? Concrete lid? We actually have an adapter that fits the concrete lids of bored wells, and I'm assuming you got another pump in there as well. Send me an email, give me a call, whatever. We can figure out a system. Those are easy. Done a bunch of the bored well hand pumps. I wasn't aware that batteries clean it. Have you? Well, the battery is the battery. The battery is pretty dumb. The battery is going to be charged up, and then you're going to convert from DC to AC, and that's where the clean power is produced. So, have you heard of anyone trying to replace batteries in the car with supercapacitors? Yeah, there's a lot of people playing around with caps because they are electrical storage devices. But woo, I got lit up by some caps the other day. They're dangerous. 3-foot diameter with concrete lid. Yep, that's easy. There's an adapter plate. I hammer drill through the lid, And a lot of lids have built-in recesses underneath. You can't tell from the top, but underneath, if you flip the lid off, there's a place for a pump to go. If you don't have that, I just hammer drill and put an adapter plate. The adapter plate's like $70, and we bolt it to the lid, and then we put the hand pump down into the water. So just kind of need to know, you got a 60-foot deep well, how far down is the water from the ground level, and if I have that number, I can get you a quote, Blue Ferrule, on a hand pump that will work, and actually I can set it up to backfeed your existing plumbing if you want to pump it into the house. So we do those. I need a hand pump for a well too, possibly two of them. One for a sub-house well, and one is an old ag well with the turbine pump taken completely out. Well, if there's nothing in there, that's even easier. So Anonymous Farm, just email me. I'm going to put my email here again if you didn't know what it was, but info at practical preppers.com. Cut and paste that, dummy. Alright. So I put the email there in the chat again. Where can I... Alright, who did I miss? Nope, I have not found any well that I cannot put a hand pump in so far. I've done over 350 of them, and there's a lot of different tricks and techniques, and I've seen enough to try to figure it out. I've had some really tricky ones, and thought I've had to go back a couple times once I scratched my head and tried to figure it out. Just difficult places to get into more than the well itself. If you have trouble with your charge controller accepting your generator's power for it's too dirty, use a capacitor on the input side. It'll smooth everything out. Thanks, Spencer. Where can I start here in South Carolina with wind and solar? Typically, unless you're on top of a mountain or you're along the coast, that wind and solar, wind is not necessarily that good. Solar would be your hub, Terry and Billy. So, kind of, that's something we do a site evaluation. We go and look and see where the best place to put the solar. We prefer to put solar on the ground, so we're not messing with your house roof. In case your roof has to be replaced, then you got to have somebody come out and replace the solar, rewire it. It's a lot of extra expense. At first, a lot of people just come in, they throw solar up on the roof, and they run away. And but you're stuck with a system that needs some maintenance and some cleaning. And if there are roof failures, you got to have the company come back. I'm a big fan of ground mounts, but if you can't put it anywhere and put it on the roof, we do that as well. So just let me know if I can help you. There's my email. Send me an email, and we can walk you through and tell you what you would need. And it's up to you. What kind of system? Is it hybrid? Do you want to sell back to the grid? Do you want just a pure grid tie? Do you want a battery backup? DC coupled, AC coupled, and the technology changes often. Every 6 months, there's something new on the horizon. So we can help you design a system that will work for what you want it to do. If you have a good wind site, we can talk about that too. Kershaw area, not very good for wind. If you go to NREL's wind charts, this might help you. Let me pull up that NREL wind charts. Dynamic wind charts. If you pull up NREL wind charts, let's look here. So view image. If you can, for those that are asking about wind, if you can see a chart, wind resources, and if you look, what this person was asking there in South Carolina, it's all white. There's really not good wind unless you're on the coast, and so where they are is a very bad site for wind. So I would pretty much do everything in solar and not do wind. I hope that helps. So if you think you have wind and you do, we can talk about that, but it's just to a solar system. Okay. Kershaw area, yes, okay. Thanks, I'll send you an email regarding that. It's a lot of work to put a hand pump. No. Is it a lot of work to put a hand pump in that already has a submersible in? No, I did one today. I do them all now. It's about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours tops to pull up your existing pump, change out the well seal, set it back down, replumb, rewire your pressure switch, turn your pump back on, make sure everything's good, then install a hand pump. 3 hours and we're out of there. I have a 20K ground mount. I'm poor, so I had to go with a lease. Duke wouldn't let us go bigger than 20 kW. Yeah, that's a battle, Blue Feral. Not many. We don't understand the 20 kW limit. I don't know why you say. Not many people have a 20 kW ground mount. So that's a very large ground mount. That's awesome. We just put one in this week that was 19.44. So you say you're poor, but I don't meet many people that have a solar array that big. So they must. Hopefully the lease deal works out for you. I'm out for tonight. All right, Walter. Appreciate you coming. Roofing work is brutal. Agreed. That's why good installation costs money. Yes, and that's why we do it on the ground. We do a nice, good installation on the ground. All right, so hopefully, that helped Terry. Yes, Terry and Billy, solar. Cheraw, you're not too far from Cheraw. We did a couple systems down there. We are in Northwest Georgia. It's going up a hill. We're getting. Okay. Well, if you want to email, we can talk about that, John, at another point. I can't really think about it right now. Wow, lease. Start buying panels on the side to get out later. Okay. You're going to have to live on Hatteras Island Shoals to have total wind-based power generation plant. Yeah, there's some places that are, if you look at the wind map, I mean, you can see where the high wind sources, the excellent, getting up in the blues, the reds, outstanding, some of the purples on this map, just steady, constant. The guy that I talked to was in Montana today, and he's just in a very good purplish, excellent wind location, and we just aren't fortunate to have that where we are, but we have a lot of good sun. So I still think solar should be the hub, and you can add wind and hydro if you have it, and generators, but anyway, let's go back to the chat. You're welcome. Alright, folks, well, we've gone another 2 hours on the Engineer775 live chat. Really appreciate folks coming on here. I'll hang out for a few more minutes if you have any other questions. We're going to help a farmer. If you came in late, again, there's somebody that came on the chat early on, and they volunteered to be a guinea pig for next week. And we're going to use their place with Google Earth, and we're going to design a solar water pumping system for them that might help you out if you're in the market or thinking about doing that, or just want to see how it's done. Join us. We'll put a system in virtually on Google Earth, run all the numbers, and hopefully that'll help them out for their farm. And what or where is the best place to start buying solar equipment as cheap as possible? From yours truly, Engineer775. I've got very good prices. I work with AEE Solar. They've actually come here and talked to me. I'm set up as a reseller. There's a warehouse in Pennsylvania, a warehouse on the West Coast. They deal with high volume, so their prices are good. So, I would be glad to help you with a system. A lot of it, make sure you have a good system. Just don't start buying stuff. So we try to take a systems approach. So it's not just selling you an inverter. It's an inverter, a charge controller, solar panels, mounting hardware, connections, overcurrent protection, everything that you're going to need at a good price. Yes, love your channel. Keep up the great videos. Appreciate that. See you later, Scott. Have a great holiday. I will. You too, Elmer. Sometime we need to catch up, man. It's crazy busy. I know you are too. Our country didn't have any wind turbine codes until Torch Energy tried to install wind turbines 5. Okay. Welcome, Terry and Billy. All right, folks. It looks like people are getting to that point where we're all kind of toasty and need to sign off and go to bed. So appreciate the questions. We were on many subjects. I thought I could kind of keep it on hydronics. We did talk a lot about it, and again, look forward to next week's, and it'll be fun. So come on back. I'm gonna try to do a video a week, and then and as a and then put the reminder in that video, and then do the live, because I'm just getting used to this live thing. And we are running Edison 240 batteries. Okay, they're very good. They're expensive. God bless. Peace out. Take care, Spencer. Bless you, brother. Thank you, sir, for all the good stuff. Yeah, it's my privilege, my pleasure to do this channel. It's a lot of fun for me. So appreciate it, and we continue to learn. Hopefully, help each other out. There's probably 5 or 6 people that were on the chat tonight that have really, really helped me out. I would not be able to give you the content that I've put out without their help, and so appreciate those folks. And you're welcome, Stemmy. And I just thank you for the YouTube's awesome. YouTube has been great. I know some people are having some heartburn and being demonetized because of guns and things like that, but fortunately, I am a boring Engineer775 kind of guy, and my stuff, I guess, is okay, because there's people that, you know, everybody needs water, food, power, and so that's, I guess I get off easy. But how often do you work in Rutherford County, North Carolina? I will be traveling through there. I'm going up to High Point, and I should be there next week, and putting in a well water pump system. Rutherford County's not far from me. That's great. I got a good helper there too that's in Rutherford County. We got a pretty big job in Tryon, another one in Landrum, just south of you. I'm in that area a lot, Mr. Trek Fan Dan, so if you need help, let me know. Nice show. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Nice talking. You appreciate it. Thanks for the enjoyable evening. All right, appreciate it. And I'm good with criticism too. If there's any feedback or things that you'd like to talk about, let me know. Throw the topics at me. Anything about the audio, the video, because I really don't know until after later, and I listen to it and say, oh, that's horrible. And so I appreciate that, Terry. All right, folks, I'm going to sign out. God bless everyone, and we'll be back next week. Engineer775 signing out. Good day from New Zealand. Really enjoy your videos. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate it. All right, I thank you. Hopefully the videos are getting better. Got a little bit better equipment. My earlier videos, if I go back, I just cringe on how bad they were. We're in Tryon, Georgia. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to look that up. See where that is. Tryon, Georgia. Where is Tryon, Georgia from me? Let's see. That's 215 miles from me, John Amber Rivers Homestead. 3 hours. I'm actually going to be in Fairmount. You know where Fairmount is? I got a job there soon. I don't know if that's I'm just talking out loud. That might be helpful. Night. Be ambitious. Take care. Take care, Blue Farrell. What about using a series of capacitors to store electricity? Kevin, that is done. I don't know. That's something that's above my pay grade. I'm not a capacitor expert. We have a really awesome capacitor plant in town that my daughter works for them, but I can't her about I'm wondering if she's going to bring any of their capacitors home for me to test, but she just looks at me like I'm crazy. So anyway, I have not messed around with capacitors other than electrocute myself getting too close to them. Erie, PA, windy on the lake. Yeah, awesome. If you got wind, use some turbines. Thank you. All right, you're welcome, Herb. All right, folks, any other questions? Last call for questions on the E775 channel. All right. Thanks again, folks. I'm signing out. Stop streaming. We went over, a little bit over 2 hours. Take care, everybody. I saw you all was in Rome, Georgia. It's not. Yeah, well, we weren't too far from you. A fair amount. Was I in Rome? I don't know if I was in Rome. Maybe I was. Not sure. I don't think you're quite a ways northwest. Audio system caps. Hate when you shake. When they shake. House with subwoofers. What? How about solar electric panels used to heat hot water heater? Yes, Richard Rice. Good question. Oh my goodness. Here we go again. I'm getting my third win, fifth win. Good night, everybody. I gotta answer Richard's question here. There is a system that is pretty much, I want to say, perfected, and they just improved it. Look up Sun Bandit, and Sun Bandit just did a big improvement, and that the controller between the PV panels and your water heater now is a higher voltage, and you only need one home run from the array, so you can heat your water directly using solar panels. And it's an expensive system. If you want more information about it, send me an email. I'll pop my email in here one more time somewhere here. There's my email. I can send you out some data sheets and stuff on the Sun Bandit, how to heat water directly. I think it's awesome how to heat it directly with PV. And could you relay some more info on a baler bucket as far as how to make one? Yeah, I'd have to. I made one. I didn't do a very good video of it, and I could. You can just copy some of the ones that are out there. I have some on my website, practicalpreppers.com, and also Layman's catalog has one that I have. It's a metal one with a release handle. Very simple. Baler buckets are, a tube with a check valve at the bottom. The cheapest one is to mount a swing check valve to the bottom of the tube to let the water in, but it won't let the water out. And so you're just going to spend about $20 to build yourself a decent baler bucket. It's a rope, it's bolts. There's a lot of ways to build it. So anyway, giant DC competitors for car audio. All right. I'm gonna sneak out of here before we get any more in there. All right, we still got about 40 people on. People are signing out, so I'm gonna take off. God bless you all. Good night.